The closest competitor for AMD's 9070 XT is Nvidia's 5070 Ti, and today I'm gonna pit them against each other in games, in Linux, in this case CachyOS. For this comparison, I'll be using a power-core Red Devil 9070 XT and a PNI 5070 Ti OC triple fan. I chose CachyOS as it is a gaming-focused Arch-based distro that has a gaming package and outstanding documentation on how to set up game launchers. I highly recommend this distro. As it is based on Arch, you have extensive documentation regarding setting up many things, including how to use AMDVLK, something that I will touch briefly in a few moments. I will not compare it to Windows in this video, but in a future one. Speaking of Windows, let me present GVGMall. The sponsor of this video is a web store where you can find genuine Windows 11 CD keys. You can use my 25% discount code CG9 to snag a Windows 11 CD key. It will be cheaper than the official price. To buy one is easy, as you can see now on the screen. Once you completed the purchase, you will receive an email with the link where you can find your Windows 11 CD key. When you have the activation key, you can go to Windows Activation, click on Activation, enter your activation key, and you're done. In the store, you can find as well Windows 10 keys where you can use the same code CG9 and you will get a 25% discount on your purchase. GVGMall has all the software products on sale, don't miss. At the time of doing the benchmarks, I applied the latest updates alongside the latest video drivers. KDE Plasma and Wayland are used on both GPUs. All tests will be using the display drivers that the distro installs by default. This means Mesa for the AMD GPU and Nvidia open source module for the 5070 Ti. I did try AMDVLK, AMD's open source driver. I used AMD Vulkan prefixes package to switch between drivers. In Black Myth Wukong, when RT was off, it underperformed when compared to the Mesa drivers, as you can see now on the screen. It delivered close to half the performance of the 5070 Ti when RT was used, again in Black Myth Wukong. I wanted to test more games, but when attempting to check the performance in Oblivion Remastered using ray tracing, the AMDVLK driver bricked the system, and I was not able to do anything else but press the reset button to restart. And because of this, I stopped, as this is not the focus of this video, so let's move on. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you like GPU comparisons in Linux and Windows alike. I have to mention that for some reason on the 9070 XT, Monster Hunter kept crashing at 4K, so I was not able to get 3 runs to deliver the averages. I managed to get only 2 from 6 attempts, so this is why I removed the game from the 4K charts. On the 5070 Ti, I had a lot of issues when attempting to test Oblivion Remaster at 1440p, but I managed to get 3 runs. Using the 9070 XT and Proton GE in Witcher 3, Geo-overlay was returning bad averages, so I decided to use Wine for this game. Both GPUs had occasional issues, but more on this in the closing thoughts section of the video. Now let's move to the charts, and if interested to see the game settings and the area used, please check the side-by-side runs after the charts. Looking at the 1440p chart, we can see that the 9070 XT delivers more wins, but there are a few surprising results. In Path of Exile 2 and Counter-Strike 2, the 5070 Ti has a substantial advantage. Both games use Vulkan. The other 2 games where the 5070 edged the 9070 XT are Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Witcher 3. Both games favor Nvidia GPUs. The biggest leads that the 9070 XT delivers are seen in the following games: Marvel Rivals, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Last of Us Part 2. The 9070 XT delivers better 1% low values across the board. As expected, across all games tested, the 9070 XT had better averages, 3% performance lead, which is not huge. The 9070 XT extends its lead when taking into account the 1% low values. It has a 20% lead, but I didn't feel that the 5070 Ti was stuttering, know that. Things change a bit at 4K. In Civilization 6, the 5070 Ti has a lead in both averages and 1% low values, while in Path of Exile 2 the gap is huge, and I'm not quite sure why is that. I suspect that there will be some performance patches in later iteration of Mesa 25. The only game where the 9070 XT has a substantial advantage is The Last of Us Part 2. In most games where it wins, the performance difference is small. And because of this, overall the 5070 Ti leads by 6%. At 4K the higher memory bandwidth helps the Nvidia card. Let's move to the side-by-side runs.
The writer of these pages knows what will happen. Because they're behind this, or because they can see what's coming. Impossible things are happening here. A world operating on different rules. I need to understand. The writer of these pages knows what will happen. Because they're behind this, or because they can see what's coming. Impossible things are happening here. A world operating on different rules. I need to understand.
Vision of our future has never been built. We compete in technology, culture.
One guy in the green tree died.
What? Oh, which one?
Gray-haired guy.
Careful!
It's cold. You sure you don't want to do this when the sun's out? And it's warmer?
No. Can't wait.
And you don't want to just tell me?
You need to see it.
It's cold. You sure you don't want to do this when the sun's out? And it's warmer?
No. Can't wait.
And you don't want to just tell me?
You need to see it.
I think those plums are wreaking havoc on my gut.
I wanted to test Doom, but it was not working using the Mesa driver. I had graphical glitches. It worked using AMDVLK driver though, but because I had used different translation layers in my attempt to make the game work using the Mesa drivers, I got this, so I decided to skip this game. Another issue that I encountered on the 9070 XT is when attempting to run Black Myth Wukong with ray tracing, the computer hard froze. I had to press the reset button. Maybe it's a skill issue, I don't know. As expected, the Nvidia GPU has the upper hand in RT scenarios. In none of the games tested, the 9070 XT paired with the Mesa driver came close to the 5070 Ti. The open source Mesa driver needs major improvement updates when ray tracing is in the mix, as the 5070 Ti leads by almost 60%. All games but Witcher 3 use upscaling at 4K. In these games, it seems that the 5070 Ti's 1% low value can't be matched by the averages of the AMD GPU. Overall, the 9070 XT is behind the 5070 Ti by almost 70%. Let's move to the side-by-side runs.
The writer of these pages knows what will happen. Because they're behind this, or because they can see what's coming. Impossible things are happening here. A world... The writer of these pages knows what will happen. Because they're behind this, or because they can see what's coming. Impossible things are happening here.
It seems that the 5070 Ti is quite close to the 9070 XT paired with the Mesa driver when Raster is used, but has a huge advantage in ray tracing scenarios. On AMD GPUs, you could use the AMD open source drivers, AMDVLK, which will greatly improve the performance in path tracing games, but may exhibit some issues. The open source drivers for Nvidia, the Nouveau package, if I pronounced it correctly, it seemed a French word to me, is not suitable for gaming, at least this was the case the last time that I checked. Mesa drivers are the go-to drivers for AMD GPUs in Linux, but, to be honest, on the 9070 XT I encounter instability when using them in games, and I'm not the only one. I played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Black Myth Wukong, and the games were crashing after a few hours. I found posts on Reddit about this, and I was hoping that Mesa 25.1 would fix this issue, but it seems that there are still some bugs, at least on Arch-based distros. Now, which GPU would I choose? I would say that the 9070 XT is better if you only play Raster games, but if you wish to mix, the 5070 Ti has the advantage as it is close to the AMD GPU in Raster but far ahead in ray tracing games. In Linux, I found that by using a Nvidia GPU in day-to-day tasks, I'm not losing anything compared to a AMD GPU. Keep in mind that both GPUs lose performance in games when compared to Windows, so have that in mind. And that's it for this video. If you found the video helpful, hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment below and let me know your Linux experience. Is it a good one or a bad one? And consider subscribing to the channel. Take care and hope to see you all in the next one.